I have season's tickets to the local symphony, but because of COVID restrictions, they are unable to present concerts at the local arts center. Instead, the venue was changed to the local cathedral, with the idea that a small audience in such a large building would provide safety. Each patron or small group would listen from their own individual pews. I was looking forward to the concert, but unfortunately, I had to go alone, as my wife was unexpectedly called out of province. Oh well, I thought, at least I'll have the pew all to myself. And almost as soon as the music began, I fell asleep. I shut my eyes in order to hear better. No joke. My eyes may have been shut, but I could still hear the music and hear it more intensely, like I could follow it note by note. And shutting my eyes enabled me to enjoy the dream visions inspired by the sound. I was listening to the performance of Mozart's Concerto in A major for clarinet and orchestra when I felt the presence of someone else sitting in my pew. In fact, I heard a slight noise when they sat down, and in my dream vision, I turned my head and saw... Okay, my eyes were closed, but I saw a man sitting next to me. A dead man. I was aware of him even before he sat down, because of the smell. Not the putrefaction of a corpse, but the smell of dust. Dust and the odor of damp earth. It wrinkled my nose, and for an instant I thought I was going to sneeze into my mask. The first thing I noticed when I turned my head were the cobwebs. At first I thought they were strands of lank gray hair brushed over a wrinkled forehead. But no, they were cobwebs. The dead man's bushy eyebrows were also thick cobwebs. I wondered at what kind of spiders. Corpse spiders? Are there such a thing? What kind of spiders could have made such thick cobwebs? And I worried the spiders were still there. And then one of them dropped from the cobwebs onto the wooden pew and began to scuttle in my direction. And then another one dropped down, and then another one, and another one, and another. They were large and dark green, British racing green, and exceedingly hairy. I would have gotten up and left the pew, but instead I was rooted to the spot, unable to move. It may have been due to my dream state, or because I didn't want to disrupt the concert, but maybe it was because the dead man had cast a spell on me, a spell of immobility. The dead man had turned his face towards me and stared at me with dead eyes, dull and black, dead eyes which hypnotized me. And then the dead man opened his mouth, and another hairy green spider dropped out and fell to the pew. Then another and another. I wanted to run, to scream, but I couldn't move, and the spiders were getting closer and closer and closer and closer, and I felt a shudder run through me and... Sir, are you awake? I opened my eyes to find a middle-aged usher, her face hidden behind the ubiquitous mask, standing back and regarding me with apprehension. I guess I fell asleep, I mumbled. The concert has been over for half an hour, she answered with some asperity. Still mumbling, I mumbled an apology and left the cathedral with all the dignity I could muster. At least I'd given up the ghost, as in got rid of it. But I had no sooner adjusted my seatbelt and turned the ignition key when I smelled earth and dust, which started me coughing. And turning, I saw the corpse sitting in my passenger seat, sitting and staring at me, and opening its gaping mouth. I was out of the car and backing away. Then I saw the passenger door open. The passenger door open, and the ghost, dead man, Spider-Man, whatever he was, get out! So I turned and began running frantically down the street. I found a cab parked in front of a nearby confectionery. I jumped in and told the man at the wheel, "Drive!" The driver was about to ask me where I wanted to go and why I was in such a hurry, but I shoved 2 20s at him, and he shrugged and pulled out. For the next half hour, we cruised the main streets of town, cruising till I was sure the specter was no longer following me. I thought about fetching my car. Too dangerous. The ghost might still be there, and my car full of hairy green spiders. Full of hairy green spiders in a darkened parking lot. So instead, I had the cabbie take me home. I'd retrieve the car tomorrow, in broad daylight. I let myself in the side door, and looking at the kitchen clock, I saw it was almost midnight. Midnight and time for bed. But as I walked down the hall to the bedroom, I thought I saw something scuttle across the floor. I snapped on the lights. Nothing. I checked the bedroom. Nothing. I undressed, got into bed, shut my eyes, remembered the lovely Mozart concerto, and was just drifting off. Something crawled across my face. Something with a lot of legs. I shrieked, jumped out of bed, grabbed the bedside lamp, and turned on the light. The first thing I saw was the green bedspread. But our bedspread is beige. But now it was green and hairy and moving, a solid mass of big ugly spiders. The ghost or corpse lay on the far side of the mattress, a cascade of spiders vomiting from its open mouth. And then suddenly it lurched across the bed, bloated arms flailing and knocking the lamp off the table, extinguishing the light. Instantly, I was alone in the dark. In the dark. Alone. Alone. But not for long. If this is your first visit to my channel, my name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories of a librarian, and original horror stories featuring cryptids such as the night floaters, werewolves, and the black-eyed children. I hope you will consider subscribing. Till midnight. Cheers.